Good Monday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett here in the King 5 newsroom, and we got some changes coming. It's been a bit of a weird spell in terms of not seeing any precipitation in November in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, that's a little strange, but it is about to break. In fact, I've got some great details for you. We're going to get the best of both worlds. In fact, let me just get right into it here because I got lots of information to share with you. Starting off with a look from SEA-TAC on this Monday evening. Lots of folks getting ready to travel, especially for Thanksgiving. And at least in our neck of the woods, things looking pretty good. Now, as far as SEA-TAC goes, well, temperatures were slightly below average today, but 39 kept us above the freezing mark overnight. It's something we haven't been able to say for quite a while. But the big story is that thing that you see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, rain today, 0.00. And that's been a bit of a problem. In fact, that's been happening now for about 2 weeks. And November is usually the wettest month. We usually rack up about 6.3 inches of rain, and so far we've had about 1 2/3. So yeah, to say that we're deficient is a bit of an understatement. In fact, Monday was the 14th day of new rain, and that was a new record. The longest streak had been 13 days back in November of 2000. So yeah, not only is it dry, but it's abnormally dry. In fact, it puts us into record territory. Just to put that into perspective, back in 1976, we had, well, the driest one ever, and thankfully we're not going to end up there. In fact, we've got a bit of November left, so I think we'll be able to pull ourselves out of that top 5. Dry spell ends on Tuesday. We're going to see some low-level rain and some mountain snow. We had a warm front that passed over earlier today. We've got a cold front heading in the early morning hours of Tuesday. I'll introduce you in just a moment. Now, once that moves through, it looks like by the time we get into, I don't say, mid-morning on Wednesday, things are going to start to clear. So if you do have some travel plans, especially up over the passes, things are looking pretty good for that. In fact, we'll take a bit of a break on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the next front arrives on Friday. So if you do have some travel plans back from Grandma's house, that could be problematic. So take a look at this. On the right side of your screen, you see that warm front that passed over. That kind of set the stage for that cold front behind it to pass in. And look, there's lots of moisture associated with it, and for a change, it's pointed right at us. So winter weather advisory in effect. That'll be in place until about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, above 3,000 feet, for 6 to 12 inches of snow up in the mountains there. Looks like most of that will gather up towards the north. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And Snoqualmie Pass should be fine because it looks like snow level right around 5,000 feet on Tuesday as most of the precip is coming through. So expecting rain or maybe a rain-snow mix, especially as we get into the early morning hours of Wednesday, but that's pretty much when that precipitation will dry up. Thursday, freezing level bounces up to 6,000 feet and it rides around 5,000 feet on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're about to take another elevator drop that will put snow levels or freezing levels down to about 1,000 feet by the time we get there. All right, let's dig into the good stuff. Put future radar into motion here. This is right around 7 a.m. on Tuesday. And what you'll notice is we'll still be tracking some fairly light rain, especially along the I-5 corridor and Puget Sound, but along the coast, it's already steady and heavy, and we'll see that into the southwestern interior as well. Fast forward to right around late morning, right around the lunch hour. Look at this thing's moving fast. So at that point, we'll be fully involved all the way up and down the I-5 corridor. Those yellows and those oranges that you see indicate that that'll be steady, moderate to some heavy rain from time to time, especially up towards Snohomish and down towards some of our southern counties. Now we fast forward to about 3 p.m. This thing's pretty much already out of here, so we'll be seeing some steady and sometimes periodically heavy mountain snow there. Again, looks like it'll come through as a rain-snow mix up towards Snoqualmie Pass, and there will be some convergence that'll set up shop, basically where you would expect it to be, up towards Stevens Pass between Everett and Seattle there. Now we get to about 8:30, and man, this thing's pretty much already gone. We'll see some clearing taking place in the lower elevations there, and that snow will continue to fly up in the mountains until early on Wednesday morning. Speaking of Wednesday, look at this. This is 6:30. System's already out of here. Pretty much everything dries up. Even the mountain snow will start to taper off there. And it looks like we get to keep that on Thursday as well. In fact, if you want to get out and, I don't know, throw the pigskin around and work off some tryptophan, you will be welcome to do that. We're going to see some sunshine across the region. And then that new system moves on Friday, and we'll see some more cloud cover and some more low-level rain and mountain snow. Now, the wind is going to be a bit of an issue here because we got a frontal boundary passing by. But watch what happens here. This is 8 p.m. on Monday, so that's pretty much right about now. As I put this this into motion, you see those winds picking up. In fact, there will be a gale warning in effect up toward the Strait of Juan de Fuca and along the immediate coast, especially near Westport and Hoquiam there, where we're going to see it really start to gust up to about 30, 40 miles an hour there. Winds will be in the teens along most of Puget Sound there. We'll see some gusts up towards Snohomish. Now, check this out. When you want to know when a frontal boundary is passed by, you'll see that wind direction change. You notice how that went from south and southwesterly to now it's kind of laying flat there and coming in due west. That means the cold front is already passed, and we're going to see some of that cooler air usher in there, and we'll see some of those gusts down towards the south in places like Olympia, Tacoma, Bremerton, Puyallup. We'll see some 30-mile-an-hour gusts right around mid-afternoon. Then fast forward to about 11 p.m. on Tuesday, that cold front is out of here, and now we're going to see some winds that will continue to stay gusty down towards the south and up towards the north there. You'll see some 25-mile-an-hour gusts up towards Oak Harbor, and then by the time we get to Wednesday morning, that thing is long gone, and we'll see those winds become calm yet once again. So as far as accumulated rainfall goes, this isn't that big of a deal, except for the fact that we haven't seen any rain for a good long while. That means roads may be slick as some of that oil starts to rise to the top of some of that moisture there. So do be very careful. Give yourself plenty of space. Don't tailgate anybody, and yeah, be prepared for some slippery roads out there. Looks like we could pick up about 3/4 of an inch in Seattle and out towards Hoquiam. Renton looks like it'll do pretty well, and then up towards the north, we're looking about anywhere between 1/3 and 1/2 an inch, and Everett looks like it's going to clean up there as well. So as far as snow accumulation goes, it looks like up towards the northern Cascades, especially Baker, looks like it'll be the big winner for this one. I was up there this weekend, and they're open, but it was pretty sparse up there, so they could use a couple more dumps, and it looks like they'll get a pretty good one on Wednesday and again on Friday, and it even looks like the weekend will show some snow up in the mountains there too. So a lot of the resorts are open. In fact, ski area openings was a big part of our story today. We had Leah Pizzetti up at Crystal Mountain, where they are now open daily, whether you are a pass holder or you're just buying a daily ticket. Baker's open daily. Looks like Stevens Pass has plans to open on the 2nd of December. I drove past Snoqualmie on Saturday. It's still got some work to do. It's pretty bare up there. And again, snow levels may not support a opening anytime within the next week or so, but we'll keep a close eye on that and let you know when it happens. And then if you want to head out to Mission Ridge, that's a fun place off towards the eastern portion of the Cascades there. They're open on weekends, Friday through Sunday. Overnight lows tonight will be fairly mild and mellow. In fact, it's a true pleasure to be able to tell you that most of us in western Washington will stay above the freezing mark overnight tonight. We'll see some upper 30s down towards Chehalis and Olympia. Off towards the coast, we'll see some low to mid 40s. And then if you're off towards the east, the overnight low will be 19 in Omak, 31 in Wenatchee, and 29 in Ellensburg. So temperatures tomorrow aren't really the big story, but as that system comes through, we will be allowed to warm into the upper 40s, lower 50s. That's pretty much where we're supposed to be this time of year, so we're cool with that. 27 is the high in Winthrop, and 33 tomorrow in Ellensburg. 7-day forecast plays it a little something like this. Expect some rain and some wind on Tuesday. That starts to clear on Wednesday. We'll get some afternoon sun breaks. It looks like Thursday is going to be a delightful day. And then late Thursday night, if you do have any travel plans, it looks like that's when that next frontal boundary will move in for some steady showers on Friday. We'll see some showers on Saturday morning that will convert to rain on Saturday night. And we'll see some steady showers on Sunday. Looks like our next sun break will be again on Monday. So we have most definitely gotten back into that pattern where we're going to be tracking frontal boundaries moving in. And you know what? It's about time. We could most definitely use the moisture, and we could most definitely use the snowpack. So there it is in a nutshell. We'll keep you posted as Thanksgiving draws closer. But as it stands right now, it looks like everything should be fine for your travel plans. From the King 5 Newsroom on this Monday evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. Stay safe and keep looking up.